Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will look at very spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're going to review Blind, which is out on VOD. All right, with me tonight, of course, is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I am doing great.
Yeah, enthusiasm.
I'm overcompensating for last week. Yeah.
Oh wow, that. Oh my god, the energy is. Yeah, I know. It's like over the top. All right. Also joining me this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl, and the Bloodstain. How you doing, Crystal?
Ooh.
I'm trying to get excited. Ah, yay! I'm doing so good, guys. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm trying so hard. I'm like, yay! Rah, rah, rah. Spirit fingers.
Oh my god, stop.
Okay.
All right. Rounding out the crew is my bud from H&R, Dave Dreher.
Take it away, Dave.
Okay, first off, we got to take away the caffeinated drink from. No more caffeinated drinks.
That's
not allowed.
True.
Iced coffee.
That's why I got coffee here too. So I'm doing well. Glad to see y'all.
Yes, I'm
good
glad
to see you guys.
too.
Yeah, all right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to review this movie Blind. We're going to give our first impressions. Then we're going to talk about the movie for a little bit. Then we wrap things up with our favorite scene, which is the cool stuff. I did it backwards, so I'm totally janked up.
Yeah.
We do our final thoughts, our favorite scene, and our score 1 to 5. So I still didn't do it in order, but that's why this is awesome. All right. What are we talking about tonight? We're talking about Blind. It's available beginning November 2nd, 2020, directed by Marcel Walz, written by Joe Knetter. The cast includes Sarah French, Jed Rowen, Caroline Williams, Tyler Gallant, Faye, a former actress that lost her vision due to a botched laser eye surgery, struggles to put her life back in order while living alone in her dream house in the Hollywood Hills. Supported by her friend Sophia, she starts opening up to Luke, a personal trainer who is mute and can only communicate through his cell phone. When a masked stranger named Pretty Boy shows up, Faye will realize that she isn't as alone as she thinks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the film. Sounds like a good one, doesn't it? All right, let's get into this. This is going to be fun. All right, who is going to be first? Well, I'm going to go in order that you guys are visual. So, Dreher, you're up first.
Yeah.
What is your first impression of Blind?
I wish I was. No. I had really high hopes for this. I like a lot of the people in this.
Yes.
I think Sarah French is great. Carolyn Williams is great.
Yes.
The guy who wrote it, Joe Knetter, I've followed him for years and years. He is a writer of generally very wild and hardcore horror. Back in the day, what we used to call splatterpunk horror.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Him and Sarah French are an item. And I don't know if he wrote this for her. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't know. This is very unlike anything else from Joe that I've ever read. So I'm not sure what the catalyst. It seems to me that maybe he was trying to write something serious to show off Sarah's talents.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of failed on many levels, unfortunately. And it's really, I really hate saying that because I love all these people. But I think Sarah did an okay job. I don't think there's anything, again, not an actor, so I don't really know, but it seems to be, Crystal, you can be able to speak to this better. I would think there's nothing harder than to act like you have a handicap when you don't have that handicap. And I think he kind of pulls it off for the most part. At least she did for me. Carolyn Williams, is she supposed to be blind too?
Yeah,
Yes.
she is. Remember,
Yes.
she was blind from birth.
Yeah.
And she
Born
was
Okay, I
blind.
was gonna say because she
Yeah.
had, I know she had like the zombie eye thing. It looked like she had contacts in to make her look blind, and I'm assuming she was. But it's just a weird, convoluted story with the mute guy who uses his phone, and then the baby doll mask dude. And I don't know. I'm not 100% sure I even know what was going on here, but it was apparently a tale of infatuation and I don't know. The guy didn't really even creep me out. The baby doll guy didn't really. He just kind of annoyed me. So I don't know. I didn't understand. I guess the problem is I didn't understand this movie.
The fear of annoyance.
yeah. I just didn't get it, and I was even more annoyed by the fact that I really love these people and I wanted to like this, and I don't like the fact that I can't say good things about it.
All right, well, let's move along. Crystal, what is your first impression of Blind?
Okay, so.
Whenever
so bad. Okay, so I agree with Dave completely. I love Caroline Williams. I think she did a great job in this. I think she did a great job pretending to be blind as well. I think she.
Well, I think she was acting.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, you picked up on that? You picked up on that, did you not?
I think it's acting.
But I think she pulled it off. I felt like she actually brought some energy to the film that it didn't have. This movie, oh gosh, it was well, let's be honest, it's a silly premise in the first place. The whole movie is a little bit superficial just in general. In addition to her having the surgery for superficial reasons, the whole premise of it is kind of superficial. Well, it is superficial. It's very light. There were times I literally just laughed at it because it was that bad. Yeah. I was like, oh. I will say though, they had a great song. The Love Is Blind, Mirko Hirsch. I love the song. Okay. However, I think they were trying to make an artistic film because they did these weird, lengthy song, almost like music videos throughout, multiple of them, because I guess they didn't have enough filler. Maybe this should have been a short film.
Maybe.
Because there's only so much of looking at Sarah French that I can handle.
You could be an impersonator.
Yeah, I was just like, are you serious? This movie is dead. It's just a dead movie. And I love Michael. Oh, Michael was in it for just a blip. And I love.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Michael so much. Yes, he's just the best. And he's so wonderful. And I think everyone did a good job, did a decent job, did the job that they could do. But yeah, the story, oof. And some of the cinematography was really good, though. I'll say that. They had some sound issues as well, which bothered me at the beginning. Some of it was very hollow, but I really had a tough time getting through it. Honestly.
Tough time. Oh, not looking good. Not looking good. All right, Jeff Morser. No pun intended in that comment. What is your first impression of Blind?
I don't know what you mean. My first impression is I'm completely with Crystal and Dave on this. I'm not quite as hard on the premise. I found it to be kind of interesting, the characters, but the story was sort of like it was too full of itself, or the script. We had these long monologues, especially towards the end, which seemed kind of interminable. Talking to a person who's mute, so you get no feedback, right?
I know.
She thought she was talking to a person who's mute. And I was just wondering these things, why it was a mute person leading a sightless self-help group. I would have expected, I don't know, I would have expected a sightless person to be leading the self-help group, but and also the character of Faye that Sarah French played was she had been without sight for a year, and she seemed like she was her character was like still in shock. She spent most of her time with a deadpan look on her face. And I've seen her in lots of other stuff, and I'm with Dave and Crystal. I like her. But in this movie, she was so underplaying it that I had to believe it was a choice, whether it was by her or the director or who it was. But I just thought it was just really flat and didn't come off like, here my door's open and I call the police and the police come. It's like, yes, I called the police. My door was open. It just
It was dead. It was really dead.
Yeah.
Just everything about it was like, yes, yeah, I'm so with
and
you.
I can't. So I'm assuming it was intentional, but I think it was a mistake. Whoever's decision that was. A lot of the developments in the story, I couldn't figure out why they were there. Like the sushi delivery guy. Why is he so curvy? He didn't have to be that. That didn't really add to it. I didn't
It was
think.
just weird.
They needed
or when she stepped on the glass, that was another thing. I was sort of like, what was the point of that? Yeah, she's blind. She broke something. That's going to happen, but it didn't have any further impact on the story. One thing I thought was kind of interesting is when Faye was talking to, is it Lucas? Was the mute
Luke
character Luke?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting because he could look at her and see her facial expressions, and she's talking, but she couldn't see him. And he was having to talk, through his phone. So it just made me think about things I hadn't thought of before, But I thought it could have been carried a lot farther. I thought Carolyn Williams was great in this. I thought she did a really good job. But not the lead. She just the pacing was just lethargic, and by the time you got to what was supposed to be a suspenseful scene, it was lost on me. It was like, oh, there's where I'm, and then even the suspenseful scene was too long.
Yeah.
It lost the suspense if there wasn't. You might get a little bit of suspense, and then you just stay on that same static shot. So anyway.
Yeah, there's some of those shots were a little longer than they needed to be. But remind me before I give you my first thoughts. The director for this film also directed Rootwood, which also has Sarah French. And I remember really liking Sarah French in Rootwood. But remind me, did we like that movie? I feel like we did.
Let me think about it.
All right. Well, since you don't know, I'll copy you chew on that while I give you my first thoughts and then report back. I was looking forward to this movie. I've been hearing about it. And of course I like Sarah French and Caroline Williams. So I was wanting to see what this particular film did. It did not make me happy to watch this film. There's some decisions in here and there's some things in here that really rubbed me the wrong way. And we'll get into that when we start talking about it. Everything from the music choice. And I'm not talking about the song, Crystal, although I didn't like it as much as you did. But the music, the background music was not appropriate for the suspense they were trying to build. It was soap opera instead. The killer, our stalker, is not as threatening as we want. They want him to be. He's tall, he's big, but they just, I don't know. There's some missteps there. The scenes are too long. The dialogue's not incredibly inviting. The premise at its core, I was interested in. I really liked the relationship or the budding relationship between Luke and our heroine. Is that Faye? Right, Faye, played by Sarah. I thought they actually had chemistry. I thought there was a real interesting thing between the two of them.
So you didn't have a problem with when he said, "Oh, I'm going to use your restroom," and then she got into a serious talk, and he's like, "I gotta go." Like that said to you that this is something that matters. It's insane. That's insane. I mean, she's spilling her heart out to him, and he's like, "Okay, gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, adios." Leading up to that, I did, yes, not necessarily that particular part of it.
Yeah.
But I liked his vulnerability and his the conversation between him. We'll get into more of this later, but the conversation between him and Caroline Williams' character, I like. But at the end, it didn't matter because they didn't really jump on that, and what they used that for was insulting. Some of the choices. Oh, we'll get into it. Really, yeah, I didn't like this movie. I hate to say it, and we're going to get into why here in a little bit. Do you just want me to jump into some whys?
Sure, yeah.
Jeff got some details.
Well, I just looked up Rootwood and I had forgotten what it was. And yes, I think we did kind of like it, maybe a bit clunky, but they went to the woods to investigate something in that van or motorhome. And Elisa Dowling and Sarah French, Felisa Rose was in it too, but she comes in later. Does that ring a bell at all? I think we kind of. I remember the film. Yeah. I think we kind of liked it. I just did it. The title didn't ring well in my bed.
Right. All right. So there are some things this movie has going for it, and I like I said, I liked Luke character. I liked the actor playing him as well. I liked Caroline Williams in this. I thought she brought a lot of heart and energy to it, like you said, when there wasn't any. I really like to even expound on that a little bit more. I liked when she said, can I touch your face? And, she's trying to figure out.
That's a lot of hair.
Yeah. But, I really liked what they were building there. I just wish they had played on that more. I mean, it's crucial to the story, but the actual interaction between the characters isn't there. And I would have liked more of that. But there's so much more that I didn't like. I thought the police officer
he was actually one of my favorite parts.
Actually worked well, and
even though, let's say this, it's very rare for an officer to not be with a partner, and this is the way you hold a flashlight and a gun.
Well,
that's super bothersome to me. It's little details like that just kill me. That's not.
There's a lot of.
What was it like this?
I don't know. There's a lot of bad things, but I like that they, he wasn't confrontational. He was supportive. He was investigating. Yeah, I thought the character when he came into the house later on when he goes, and there's problems, but anyway,
he showed heart. I think the problem with this movie is I think that they thought it had a lot of heart, but it doesn't. Because I didn't give a damn about Faye. I didn't care what happened to her. I didn't, and that's the problem. Like, you didn't care about the characters you should have cared about. The only characters I really cared about were Caroline Williams, and I cared about the cop. I was like, damn, he was a good cop. Too bad.
Yep. And that's a good thing. Can we get into what really, really upset me?
Sure.
Do it.
All right. So this might be controversial, but all right. So they made the only thing that really makes me mad is they made a point out of this, right? They said your other senses will become heightened, right? That this was part of what Luke was telling them, right? And that's when our the Greasy Strangler went bullshit. Which is great because he's a bullshit artist, but that's totally irrelevant to this. But But there's going to be a crowd out there that appreciates that comment. Anyway, I'm just going to say this guy looks like he would stink, and I'm just saying, Babyface is a stinker, and she would smell him.
Yeah,
she does not smell like Luke, who puts on the perfume, or not the perfume, but the cologne that she likes. No, stinker.
But didn't he get it as well, though? Didn't he pick some up?
Did he?
I thought he
did.
I don't think so.
I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to say.
Okay. My biggest issue is how does she not hear anything?
Right.
So it's not even just the smell; it's also hearing.
Okay.
This freaking freako. I'm not talking about the killer. I'm talking about the sushi delivery dude.
Well, that's even worse.
That dude. I'm like, this guy. What a freaking weirdo. He's much weirder to me. He was much creepier than the killer. Sorry, he just was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was thinking he could have like stole some of her money when she paid him or something if she wanted him to be a sleazy guy taking advantage of a woman that couldn't see, but then they take it to the almost extreme.
But it's not entertaining at all. I mean, it's not
Right.
there's no conflict. I mean, there's conflict, but it was just like
Weird.
It was
Yeah.
weird.
And she doesn't lock the door.
I mean,
Yeah, I know. See, it's the story. It still all relates back to the story. That's the
Agreed.
weakest link for sure.
It always does.
Yeah.
it always does. Says
It
Dave.
always does.
Oh, man. And there's just, but I just really had things like, there's no way. I did not believe that our character would not have sensed the difference of this.
You would hope.
Yeah.
You know, there's breathing, sighs.
Just touching his
Smell.
hand. Had she literally never? She used to hold on to him when they were walking.
Right.
You know, when they did the hike. So, and she did hold his hand at one point. Oh, that whole transaction at the end was just strange.
Oh,
too.
the whole thing, like, don't hurt me. Seriously.
It was,
it
was cringy.
So I hate to get this. Oh, but it incited this amount of in me.
It made you angry.
Oh my god! And I feel bad because I somebody might be actually watching this, and I feel bad.
Oh,
Please
I know
forgive me.
they will, and I'm sorry
Please
too.
forgive me.
But
I
it really it wasn't good.
Well, I think they were trying to. It seemed like they were trying to do a sensitive portrayal of sightless people, and it just never came off as realistic to me. Carolyn Williams seemed realistic, but for some reason, Faye was just went around doing stuff that I just thought after a year like this, these are things I would have incorporated into my automatic.
Yeah, and
behavior.
also, what is her thing about? I just never thought I'd let another man see me. Just because you can't see, what are you talking? That is, to me, that's sloppy writing. I feel like it shows a lot of instability in a character where there shouldn't be instability. She could be depressed about being blind, but after a year, you would think that she has some coping mechanisms. And the fact that she has literally 2 people as a support system that are also handicapped says what was she like before? I think there's a lot of weirdness in the story, and it's inconsistent.
They also don't handle the suspense well enough, right? I mean, you look back at like Wait Until Dark, which is in the 60s film with Hepburn. The idea of something's there but you can't see it. It just wasn't. The fact that she never realized it totally blew out the suspense, right? By the time she called the cops, it was because she found the door was open, not because she thought somebody was in the room. Why not
have her be like, like feeling like someone's there,
right?
Like sensing it. Yeah, I know. I'm totally with you.
For me, there was no suspense. I totally wasn't drawn into the characters enough. I mean, there was some. There are scenes that stick out that I really enjoyed, and they usually involve Caroline Williams. Like when the two of them are talking at the after their walk, and they're having that conversation, and she's like, "Can't you tell he likes you?" and stuff like that. It felt genuine, right? You really thought these 2 characters were friends, and that they, the relationship was there, and we just don't get enough of that. I don't know. Dave, you keep we always go for you for the gore, but you also really love screenplays. You want to touch on that? I know it's kind of a sensitive because you like the writer.
Yeah, well, and I don't know what he was trying to. Yeah, I just don't understand what he was trying to do. I don't get it. Obvious from what we're saying here, this is not a good screenplay or a good adaptation of a story, if that's what he adapted it from, or if he wrote this specifically for the screen. I don't know. but it's just clunky, and that's not like him. He's not a clunky writer. So I don't know. The long story short is I don't know. This is, but I mean, come on. Even Stephen King did Maximum Overdrive, so I mean,
Oh, no.
they're not all winners. But it'd be nice to know what the motivation for this film was. Maybe that would help us with this a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the intent of, of what they were after at the core or on the surface, depending on how you look at it, is there. But yeah, some balls were dropped.
Something, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it kind of reeks a little bit of what I call Rob Zombie syndrome of like writing a character because you want to put your girlfriend in it, and I don't know that that's what it was. That's just like the first thing that popped into my head, So,
but there's so many different things he could have done that probably would have been very successful for her.
Yeah, I mean, she shows. There's talent there for sure.
Oh, I think Sarah's fantastic. Actually, even my favorite scene is a scene with her in it. Right. I think she's a great actress, and I think Carolyn is great. This is a bunch of really good, talented people in a film that just doesn't gel.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's a good note to kind of stop on, and let's wrap things up. Let's give our final thoughts, our score and favorite scene. This is kind of the fun part. This is the stuff we wait around for. So, if you are still with us, thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the like or dislike button. Yeah, sure, go for that. Hit the bell if you want to be reminded. Leave some comments. Tell us how wrong we are. Please tell us. I want to know that. I just want to know that, maybe it's the election blues that kind of threw us off. I don't know. Wow, I shouldn't have said. What do you think about the election?
You made Jeff angry. He left.
Oh, don't say that. I believe him. All right. He'll be back. Let's get our final thoughts, our score. Oh, this is real. We got two Jeffs.
We got two Jeffs.
How does that happen? That is crazy.
Oh, okay. Now he's gone.
All right, Jeff, that's amazing how you did that. All right, so I think I'm going with Dave first, right?
It's me first, yeah. And I think I actually already gave my final thoughts on the project. So I'm just going to give you my favorite scene, and I think it's a really good scene. I think it was one of the better written scenes, and I think Sarah played it off really well. It's where she's listening to the tape of herself before the surgery, and she's getting all emotional and stuff. And I thought that was a really well written. I mean, can you imagine being someone that is kind of newly handicapped in that way, and being able in your mind's eye to see yourself as how you used to be? And I don't know. It just kind of touched me a little bit. I like that. So I'm going to go with that for a favorite scene, but unfortunately, I'm only going to give this one a 2.25.
Whoa,
that's not bad.
And and that's mainly because I really do love and respect a lot of the people in this. So giving them a little bit of a buy. The word on that. I mean, the indie among all the indie folks. This film's got a lot of buzz.
It does.
Amongst all those, the Tales of Halloween people. They got their little niche. That they all make films out there on the West Coast, and the early buzz on this was that it was really something special, and
oh god,
I
feel like I'm
I'd say
to that apparently,
and because I really truly do love people. So sorry guys, but I got to be honest.
Yep,
so that's it.
I think you're being generous, actually. All right, Crystal, give us your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene.
So, yeah, I feel the same way. God, I love a lot of these people. I'm super sad about this, but I'm just honest. It's really dead, really slow,
flat,
really super duper. It's not even depressing. That's what's weird about it. It's just flat. Yeah, like you said, flat. Okay, my favorite scene. It has to be something with. I loved the cop. I guess.
I like you too.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe when he goes, I don't know. He shows care at so many different turns. I guess when he rechecks a room, I'll check it again. I don't know. I just liked his whole thing. He really got to me for some reason. I mean, I could pick any portion of his. except I guess his
Except
demise,
the
which was kind of not done that well either. But yeah, I am giving it a little higher than Dave, but that's because I do think the cinematography was really good, and I thought some of the acting. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but that's pretty much as long as I feel like they're trying. It's not Bloodcraft.
Okay. All right, Jeff Mohr, you're up next. Your final thought, your score and favorite scene, and it's not Bloodcraft.
I'm going to start keeping track of how many times Crystal uses that line. It's not like
Oh yeah, that's my capper for worst movie ever.
Yeah, it just didn't capture me in any way. I wasn't getting the I think there was supposed to be a lot of sensitivity going on there around her condition, and I wasn't getting that, and the tension wasn't there, and I don't know, but I totally agree with Crystal in that it was well shot. It looks good. It looks pretty good, and just something got lost in the translation. My favorite scene, I'm gonna take the one where Carolyn Williams' character, gosh darn, I forgot her character's name.
Sophie or something.
Yeah, Sophia.
Sophia, correct? Yeah, when she's in the car with
Luke.
Faye and
Faye!
talking to
Okay.
or Luke. Who was she in the car with?
Luke. She was in the car with Luke.
Wait, was she on a bike? No, she was on a motorcycle.
Was it yesterday? No, tomorrow.
There's something drastically wrong if Faye and Sophia were in a car together and nobody else was there.
I was going to say, where are they going?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
But their discussion about how he liked her and that I just thought that played well. That was
It
well
felt
done.
authentic. I really like that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it did. And I'm giving this you guys making me. I'll go 2.25.
Oh, you guys, you're gonna make you talk about that. No, this movie did not sit well with me. Maybe I'm giving it too much grief for the whole thing where she didn't recognize the difference. That really bothered me. Is that wrong? Is that
I
wrong?
know why you're more. See, it upset you. See, the movie didn't upset me. It was just, but I get it, and that's why you really dislike this movie. It made you mad.
It pissed you off. Yeah.
It bothered me. It bothered me that she couldn't tell the difference. And it wouldn't have if they didn't make a point out of it earlier on, right? So maybe I was looking for it to make a point. I don't know. To me, this movie really rubbed me the wrong way. The music choices, the scenes being longer than I think they needed to be because it lost the tension. You guys were talking about the cinematography, and it was fine, but I don't think it was lit well for the suspense they were wanting. It was too bright. There wouldn't be any reason for it to be that bright, right? It needed to be a little bit more dark.
The opposite of bright.
Would be the opposite of light.
Exactly. I'm like, okay.
Well, sometimes it almost had like a Christmas movie feel to it. I mean, the way they used like
Christmas
the strings.
lights.
I mean, they used the strings of Christmas lights and stuff, and I was like,
I liked
supposed
it.
to be set during the holidays.
I kind of got a
Yeah.
Lifetime movie feel out of it all.
Well,
Okay, so see, that's funny because that's what I liked. I liked this whole neon feel that they had, like this whole 80s vibe with like that song and then like the light. It felt like 80s and his Ken doll mask. So that part I can get. Maybe that's why I rated it a little higher. I can see some of the stuff they were trying to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was interesting that she was like grabbing the lights and going, "What's going on here?"
She's blind.
I know, but I like that. I'm saying.
Okay, good.
There are things I liked about it, and I'll talk about that here shortly. But the film itself, unfortunately, I did not. I'm giving it a 1.5. I think you guys are being way too generous. I'm so sorry.
We like the people.
I do too, but I did not like.
And
this
it
movie.
wasn't poorly made to me, so that's another thing. Like, okay.
No, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's edited well, but that's a different story. I don't. I think it's too stretched out.
You really.
We
Sorry.
believe you, Doc. We believe you.
Yeah.
You
I'm not
really didn't like it. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so now to flip it around, my favorite scene. Actually, I actually have a couple favorite scenes. One of them is I'm going to go with the car scene, and it's not. It's not Faye and Sophia in the car. It's Sophia and Luke, and I just thought it was so touching and so tender, and I love that she touches his face and she goes, "Oh, you got nothing to worry about," and I just really
I've touched a lot of men's faces.
well.
That's cute.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah.
I thought that I like these three characters, and I wish it had more of them together in the film. I think yeah. I really think those three characters and the actors that portrayed them were all really good. Some of the long speeches really didn't work for me, but at the same time, the characters did up until the fireplace scene and holding hands, and from then on I was really pissed. But anyway, I'm going to shut up because I'm trying to say something good and I keep saying that. So there you go. That's our review for Blind. I want to hear comments about why
When
I
is
am
it
so
coming
wrong.
out, or where?
It's out now, I think.
It's out now.
It's out on VOD.
Yep.
If you watch it, you got to let us know what you
You
think.
gotta let us know. You gotta tell me why you gotta tell me I'm so wrong. What I missed.
Well, you are pretty harsh.
I feel bad already. Oh my God.
No, it struck you, and that's okay. Like
It did.
there's stuff
It's
that does that to me too. I get it.
It really.
I was going to go lower, but I succumbed to the unspoken peer pressure from Crystal and Dave, and I just like Carolyn Williams so much that I just didn't like this.
I love her too.
And I don't know, we haven't said this, but I'm pretty sure she was executive producer.
I mean, I can see why you'd want to get behind a film like this. It has all the right ingredients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's our review for Blind. It is out now on VOD, and check it out. Let us know what you think. It's out there. It's out there. It doesn't make me not want to see more from everybody involved. Even though I give it a low score, it's just like, yeah. I'm going to shut up because I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself.
You're going to go down again.
Yep. And okay, we're already running over time. So you guys have a wonderful day or evening.
Yes. Dave, Jeff, Crystal, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
No.
Gruesome Magazine.